Hello Channel NITT viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. A few episodes ago, we did a video on the MBTI observations of psychology students. In this episode, we're going to do something similar. We're going to talk about MBTI statistics that you can find online. So if you have done some research on MBTI and have typed MBTI prevalence in the Google search bar, you would have gotten this. So in this table, you can see the MBTI prevalence of all the 16 MBTI types. According to the source, this is from CPP. CPP is actually the exclusive distributor or the publisher of the MBTI assessment. So I would presume that the information given in this table is reliable and trustworthy. In my opinion, I think that this table is very important because it is one of the proofs or evidence that show that MBTI is valid. Why so? So in the 1980s, 1990s and the 2000s, in every time zone, data has been collected of all the different MBTI types across different countries, different cultures. They would have gotten the same prevalence. So if MBTI had been as random as horoscope, for example, then you would have all the MBTI types gravitate towards 1:16. However, this is not the case. The MBTI types that are rare remain rare and will continue to be rare. This also goes with the MBTI type that are common. They will continue to be common.
Your bridesmaid?
No, she's too common.
In what way does this table support the fact that MBTI is valid? Evolution is the key. So if you look at the distribution, you will find that all the NJ types, so the INTJ, INFJ, ENTJ, and ENFJ are the rarest type. These are the NI users. So if you think about it, evolutionarily, it does not make sense for everyone to have NI. So in the olden past, in the tribal era, NI users are the fortune tellers, they are the prophets. Does it make sense to have a lot of prophets or people who practice black magic? Does not make sense. There should only be one of them in the entire tribe. So the entire tribe, when they're in trouble, they look for this person.
As a voodoo priest, Gary Maziel also serves as a community healer.
Imagine NI is a very common trait, like 12% of the population have it. So everyone will be performing black magic on each other and on other tribes. This is really self-defeating as an evolutionary trait. So what is the function that is the most common? If you look at the top of this prevalence table, you realize that SI is the most common. ISFJs, ESFJs, ISTJs, and ESTJs rank the 5th. So this means that SI is a most common cognitive trait. So this also makes evolutionary sense. It makes sense for the population to be careful and methodological, so as to remain surviving. And as you can see, ISFJ and ESFJ are ranked the first. So besides SI, FE is also an important trait. So it does make sense from the evolutionary point of view to have FE as an important trait as well. FE is concerned about group harmony. FE is concerned about group welfare. So this group welfare in turn promotes the survival of the population and mankind. However, a population also needs other characteristics like creativity, individuality, so as to promote diversity. That is why you see right in the middle all the different cognitive functions such as the FI and the TI are represented. They are right in the middle of the prevalence table. Every society needs to have different individuals. Diversity is a key for continued survival. That's why we don't only have SI and FE people, right? So if everyone were just being methodological, robotic, society cannot progress onwards, right? So you still need FI, TI, SE, NE, and all the other cognitive functions. In particular, I think the SE could be very important in the primitive era because SE will belong to the hunters and the warriors. Now on the internet, there is another very important chart and table, and this is the income table of the MBTI types. Personally, I'm not very sure whether this is a reliable source because I have a lot of doubts about it. First of all, I do not know whether this is dated. Next, I find the term household income very mysterious because I would have assumed that a more accurate way of talking about MBTI types would be personal income instead of household income. So I do not know what household income actually means. Even though the vertical axis contains information about income, I'm not too sure whether this is talking about US dollars. I would assume that it's US dollars because this is the most common currency that people would relate with when comparing between MBTI types. So good news for the ENTJs, as you can see based on this table, ENTJs earn the most income out of all the 16 MBTI types. However, you need to be very careful because the bottom of the chart is actually truncated, giving the illusion that the ENTJ earn much more than all the other MBTI types. In fact, I did a calculation. So I took the MBTI type that earns the least and I did a calculation. The difference is actually only about $2,000 per month. Not very different. So there is no cause for celebration. It's clearly a visual illusion. So when I first presented this chart to my students for discussion sake, a student was just commenting very loudly. She's an ENFP. She said, "Wow, ENTJs earn so much. I must find an ENTJ boyfriend." So I merely told her, "You think ENTJs like you, meh?" One very important thing to note is this is just an average. Do not take it seriously. There are a lot of P types that I know that earn hell a lot of money because they are the financial planners, they are the bankers, they are the what else? Property agents. They earn a lot. Well, personally, I think that these P types individual really know how to enjoy life. They work in spurts. So they chase after their clients. After they seal the deal, they earn a huge load in one go at one time. The J types prefer maybe a more steady flow of income because they are the marathon runners. So it is very likely possible that the P types may even earn more than the J types. However, as I was telling you, this is just an average table. So the P types that have been earning a lot may be put down by their counterparts because the other P types, the counterpart P types may be the lazy ones or those that do not earn as much. So causing the bar to eventually become lower than usual. So another way I look at it is that P-type individual may tend to gravitate towards jobs that do not pay well, such as nursing. So nurses really work very hard, but the society doesn't really pay them that much.
Sorry, I cannot come too close because Deepavali must be very holy. They gave me discount. I look like a slut.
Many people might think that the nurses must be J-types, right? But personally, I have profiled a few nurses. They are the SFP types. But let's come back to ENTJs. Why does the chart show that ENTJs earn the most? So this is very curious. Of all the 16 MBTI types in this chart, the ENTJ is a clear-cut winner. It just juts out. Well, personally, if this table is really true, I think that ENTJs may win by a mile because many ENTJs are entrepreneurs. So ENTJs are very likely to be disruptors in a business. So they may come up with a new business idea that disrupts the entire ecosystem. And if they are successful, this means great money. Just like Apple disrupted the whole computer industry right when they started.
Look at this! Oh man, I'm freaking out. This is so great.
The pairing of TE and NI can be very useful when making money is concerned. Because NI is the ability to see where the business opportunities are. The INTJ also has TE and NI. Unfortunately, SE is their inferior function, so they are slower to act. The SE in the third position for the ENTJ means that the ENTJ is willing to take risks. And usually the gamble pays off and the ENTJ becomes rich. So fellow ENTJs, I wish that you will become rich soon. 恭喜恭喜. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. At least this episode shows that the ENTJ, when approaching data and statistics, do not just take it at face value. They tend to want to make different analysis of it. This is also a TE and NI trait. So I would like to thank all our existing viewers for supporting us so far. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ, MBTI and fun stuff. Okay, I am going to sign off now and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye!